Once again, I'm trapped again between the endless swirl of potentially good thing for a show or a potential disaster for a show. I'm talking of course about Avatar: The Last Airbenders Netflix series reboot. Now let's talk a little bit about Avatar: The Last Airbender, because this is a show that basically blew people's minds off when it came off. There were not a lot of fans at first, but it quickly gained traction as soon as the first couple of episodes were released. It was one of the rare mixes that was done for adults and for children alike, because you had very silly episodes and you had a lot of very mature moments in every single episode, as well as whole arcs that were just so mature, just so well made and so thoughtful. This was by no means lesser than a masterpiece that the creators Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko did, and they put in every bit of good vibes and good things that you can feel from a show, even as a kid, as an adult. I started to watch the show when I was 15, now I'm 28, and this show still speaks to me on a very deep level, because it has so many things that you can relate to, even as a kid, even as an adult, even as whatever. I think even old people can relate to it, because it does have some traditional things that they'll actually feel good about, and not just new age stuff and kid stuff or just young adult stuff. Then in 2010, something happened that almost destroyed the whole franchise. It was such a black spot on everything that people were not only appalled but downright disgusted from it. And I'm talking, of course, about M. Night Shyamalan's version of Avatar: The Last Airbender. This movie was horrendous. Like, I'm talking Dragon Ball Evolution horrendous. This was almost a bullet to the head to the original show and the original franchise as a whole, because while it got some of the premise right, it basically burned it down with so many stuff that went wrong, so many stuff that were changed, from character models, from lack of creativity, from lack of anything that actually made the show good, that it almost buried it, it almost destroyed it. And now we have a Netflix reboot series, and I am very torn to actually be excited or to actually be very terrified, and I'm going to explain why now. Let's start with the good news. First of all, this is a Netflix reboot series, not a movie. Avatar: The Last Airbender and its sequel, Legend of Korra, were a TV animated series, which means all characters had a lot of more time to be developed, to be expanded, to bring us more of their backstories in a very good flow and not just cram it into a one movie. Also, the original creators Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko are going to be overseeing the project directly, which is a very good news, because that means if everything goes well, they'll have direct control and they can actually steer this thing into a very good narrative, because the idea is to retell the original story as closely as possible. And I'm just gonna read the title from Screen Rant, which is Netflix Avatar: The Last Airbender can make up for Shyamalan's failure. And I'm all up for that, because if done right, a live action series with the right cast, with the right attitude, with the right acting will just be the best reimagining of a beloved TV series. And I see on the internet a lot of people already screaming and shouting and being happy about it. However, I do need to point one thing out: Netflix. Now, you can say whatever you like about Netflix. They have amazing shows, they have a very good staff of people, they have a very good organization, they're very large, so they have a lot of influence. They can certainly hire and get a lot of good actors, like we saw what they did with The Witcher. They freaking brought Henry Cavill, who is a Hollywood big star actor. He's freaking Superman, and they got him for a TV series. However, I do wish to point out that Netflix doesn't actually have a spotless record. They have some very bad shows, they have some very bad ideas that they actually made, and it has proven that they're not the best at making good decisions for their fan base when reimagining stories. And while I'm being hopeful and very happy that there is going to be something like this on the small screen as a live action movie, I want to be cautious and I don't want to get my hopes up, and I don't want other people to get their hopes up needlessly just because of the initial news. We need to see trailers, we need to see character development, we need to see casting, and we need to shape it realistically, which is why I'm standing here in between the good and the bad, and I want to just tell everyone that while it's a good idea and it has a great potential and it has a great build so far, with the original creators overseeing with just retelling the story without little to no changing from the animation, because, well, you can say whatever you like, whatever happened in the animation, the way it happened, if we see that on a live action movie, it's going to be one of the rare cases that something like this being directly reimagined will just make the show even better. Shyamalan wanted to change things to make them appear a little bit different, and in the end, I'll just say this: if you haven't seen the show, or you have but you haven't seen the movie, and you're feeling like you want to hurt your senses today, go watch the movie, and after that, I pray that you remain the same person you are today. Now, in order for this reimagining to be good, in my opinion, there are several things that just need to be there, and by need I mean they need to be there just as they were in the animated series. First of all, the bending. It has to be good, it has to be live, it has to really look the part as it did in the TV series. So you need to hire people with either very good stunt actors who know a lot of martial arts, or you need to hire actors who do those stunts with martial arts. Character build-up. You need to set the tone from the start. It will have to be taken from the show directly and put into the live action remake with no changes whatsoever, or just very tiny bit, because the character build-up, for me personally, it was one of the best I have ever seen in an animated show. It was not too quick, it was not too slow, the characters were presented great, and it was just amazing to watch and to see the characters grow. And the third thing that has actually been confirmed, and I'm very happy about it, is that the original musical composer for the animated series is also going to be composing the music for the live action movie. Jeremy Zuckerman is back and he's going to make the music for the live action TV series, and this is very important because if you have seen the animated series, you know how important the music was for all of the different scenes, how it actually filled in for the emotion that was supposed to be presented, and how it helped us feel that emotion. So he's back, and this is the thing that we need, and I just hope that it's at least as good as the TV series. There is no news on release date or casting, so we'll have to wait a little bit about that. I'm hoping that by the end of November we'll have at least our initial casting, or at least a potential release date. But what I want to know is, if you're a fan of the show, what do you think? Will this be a good thing that Netflix does, or will they fuck it up? We have a lot of potential here, that's what I think, and I do believe, I am a strong believer that with Brian Konietzko and Michael DiMartino overseeing the whole thing, it has little room for fucking up, and it does not have any potential to be that bad. However, it's Netflix, however, they have done stupid things before, they have played without the expectations, and they continue to do so on a lot of occasions. So I want to know your opinion. Do you think this will be good, or this will be a disaster? Post your comments down below, and just tell me what you think. Also, if you like this video, just click the like button. If you want to see more and be notified, click the bell button. There will become a time when half of the YouTube video will be just promoting your next video or your previous video, and I'm very afraid. So with that, I'm gonna end this video, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers and stay fresh.